Angela Tarot. How are you today? It's been a while since I've done a video, so I'm excited to chat with you today about a particular tarot card that gets a bad rap. Dun-dun-dun! The Death card. I picked the Death card today in one of my sittings here, and I just wanted to go over the Death card with you and share with you how the Death card is actually a really transformational tool that you can use for spiritual growth and development, and actually also reflect back on what you are letting go of in this moment in time. So the card depicts this skeleton dude riding a white horse. The horse has these scary red eyes. There is a pope here dressed in a golden robe and some younger folks here, even some dead folks here. And there's a sunrise in the background. The skeleton knight carries this flag, and I was reflecting on the symbolism of the different petals here on this white flower. There are 5 petals. The number 5 in tarot usually signifies cards that are going through some challenges. So this card definitely is showcasing some challenges right now. But what I love about the Death card, first of all, is the fact that it's all about death, which means the loss of things, the ending of things. But it implies that with that ending, there's rebirth. And the rebirth can be seen here in the sunrise in the background. So, one thing you should know about me if you don't already is that I'm a Scorpio. I love the whole concept of death and rebirth, and that is very much a theme of the Scorpio. I do have also, I don't know if you could see it very well, but a phoenix here. And the phoenix is also about death and rebirth. And I have the title of a Maya Angelou poem here saying, Still I Rise on my phoenix. I also have a phoenix. I don't know if you've seen this on my website, but it is my logo too. So, death and rebirth is very important to me as a concept. And because I specialize in helping women going through transition in their lives, I want to just point out that in particular. So, if you are going through a transition right now, whether it is a job loss, whether it is a breakup, grief from somebody passing in your life, an unexpected diagnosis, also a transitional phase. It could be the death of a certain phase in life. I had done this tarot party, which was celebrating 2 women who were turning 50, and all of their girlfriends had gathered together in Calistoga for a beautiful weekend. And many of them who did a tarot reading with me were sharing that they were going through a major life transition because their kids were older, either teenagers or about to go into college. And they were contemplating, what is the next phase of my life? And that is a death question because you don't quite know exactly what to expect. You have been experiencing a certain thing in your life for so many years, and that death, whatever it is, whether it's your kids growing up, leaving the nest, and you just having to cope with what that means, that's one form of death. Another form of death is if you suddenly lose your job and all of a sudden you're laid off, you're kind of stunned. Maybe you worked at the company for a long time and it's a shakeup. It's what we call in tarot a tower moment. And the tower card is also kind of a quote unquote scary card where it depicts massive change, and death is all about change. Nothing is permanent, which makes it even more important to be grateful for what you have in this moment in time because it can change in a heartbeat. You can lose that job or that loved one, have a sudden unexpected breakup, and it comes out of nowhere. So I love the death card because it helps you reflect that A, this is a natural experience. Everybody goes through grief and loss. And B, there is that sunrise. There is that phoenix rising up in the background. And it gives that sense of hope to this card. It's not all about darkness and death. And it's really important, in my opinion, to grieve for what you've lost, but also to keep the perspective after you've experienced all those emotions that the sun will rise. It's that, like that saying, um, the darkness before the dawn. So I want to talk about this also because we are going through an incredibly challenging time politically, economically, socially. There's just so much change with all of the talk of AI taking over jobs and people losing their jobs. I was laid off 9 months ago and transitioned into my business full time. So there's a lot going on, which can be really overwhelming. But I want to just highlight that there's always change, there's always hope, there's always that ray of sunshine and sunlight in the distance. It's hard to feel that all the time, especially if you're feeling the heaviness, the depression. The grief can kind of be overwhelming with the death card, and that's okay. I think that we in our society tend to, try to sugarcoat things or do the spiritual bypassing things where you don't want to think about death and just bypass and think about the light, but that's not really helpful either. So I'm going to just pick one card for us to kind of ground this message and to give a sense of optimism, maybe, or something just to think about for the next phase after death, because it's not really about the optimism, because I don't really like that idea that you have to be happy all the time. You have to have a message that there is like a reason for loss or transition. Oh, I love this. You got the 10 of Cups reversed. You can see in this card, it is very hopeful and optimistic. But one thing with this card that my teacher, Lindsay Mack, says is that rainbow is eventually going to fade. So I think it's super interesting that we got both of these cards because here is a family, joyful. There's even children in both of the cards. And there's such a sense of lightness and joy and fulfillment in the 10 of Cups. But that rainbow is going to fade. This is impermanent as well. So there's this message of impermanence even in the joy. There's a message of impermanence even in the dark times. And they will change eventually into something else. And so I think the 10 of Cups energy is kind of a reminder to have gratitude now because change is coming, and to celebrate those moments because death is here as a reminder to be grateful for what you have in this moment because it will change. So I think it's a super powerful message, and one which gives just kind of like that rounded insight and wisdom into what life is about, with the constant flow, the constant change, and the constant ability that we all have to maybe call somebody up that you love, tell them that you love them, tell them why you appreciate them, because you never know the next time that you'll be able to talk to them. I know that's kind of a depressing thought too, but it's an empowering thought because you can take action to really appreciate people in the here and now. If you'd like your own tarot card reading, you can work with me privately. I have all the information down in the show notes. Would love to book a session. And have you on there. I also have my membership site for women in transition. You can hire me to do coaching sessions. Would love to chat with you more about that death cycle that you are going through and how you could feel more grounded, less anxious,